I'm ready for some high school football on Newsroom. Let's go.
Work hard on three. Come on. Work hard.
Down the stretch we come. We're in the final quarter pole of the regular season. And teams are looking for playoff spots.
I'm never going to get mad about the physicality. You keep doing your thing, you understand?
And conference crowns. So let's put the Spurs to it.
Pump it up, pump it up.
In this Week 8 edition of the Blitz. Another week, another battle for first place in the Coastal Conference. League leader Northside tried to fend off the Patriots from West Carteret. We had a backyard brawl between neighbors D.H. Conley and South Central, the winner keeping their conference championship hopes alive. And Farmville Central tried to do something no team has done in 14 years. Beat Tarboro in a conference game. Yup, the rain is coming. Time to go inside and watch something good.
The Blitz are now! Welcome into another award-winning edition of the Blitz. We're heading into Columbus Day weekend, so we're exploring all the possibilities of who can win conference championships during the final month of the regular season.
The Coastal Conference is tangled of web of talented teams. 5 of them have a shot to win the league crown going into tonight. Northside Jacksonville had a 1-game lead over West Carteret, Havelock, Dixon, and Croatan.
The Monarchs made the trip to Morehead City to take on a Patriots team who lost to Havelock last week, looking to rebound this week. It's our law office's John Drew Warlick Blitz Premier matchup. Northside averaging 34 points per game, West Carteret averaging 36 points per game. West Carteret up 14-7 at one point. Northside would tie it right before the half, and then they would take the lead in the third quarter thanks to Riley Anderson, and the cheerleaders were excited. Then after West Carteret went forward on a fake punt, Northside stopped them, and then it would be Reginald Gray taking it in himself for the 14-point lead. But Daniel Barrow says, Tanner Payne, show everybody why you are going to be going to Elon. Tanner says, I got you, coach. Watch him go up top. This is on 4th and 10, and he's going to find DeJabrian Murray for the score. That cut the lead to 7. And why was the Patriot hanging out with the Northside Monarch fans? I'm still trying to figure this out, but he was having a ball talking trash because here comes the big man. Joshua Bowman down at the goal line. They'd score next play. We're all tied at 28. That's when Kendrick Pollock says, all right, we're first place in this conference by ourselves for a reason, and it's because of Reginald Gray, the sophomore quarterback, going up top to Mikhail White. He has got it. And Northside back up. J.J. Smith says, there's going to be a lot of stats I have to add up. Well, Tanner Payne was picked off twice by that defense. It is Matthew Smoot, and that would set up a go-ahead or an extra touchdown by Raleigh Anderson, and Northside does it. They stay undefeated in conference play, 42-28.
Yeah, the kids fought hard, they didn't give up, and just a testament to them of wanting to be great. They're learning how to win. I think, like I said, the last 4 years of getting beat down in the other conference, it taught them how to win.
Well, sure did. So now Northside's got a big game with Dixon next week. Let's go and see how those Bulldogs did. They took their 5-1 record to Havelock. Basically, this was a conference tournament or a conference title elimination game. Loser would have 2 league losses and be out of the race. The Rams beat the Bulldogs 62-0 in the playoffs 2 years ago. Dixon says, well, guess what? We're not going to get shut out this time. They march down the field, and their big guy, Cooper Lanier, takes it in for the quick 6-0 lead, and Brent Wooten with the boot on says, I got bone spurs, or maybe I'm just trying to kick some tail with my offense now that seems to be going really well. And they do it again. The second possession, they just give it to Jaden Howard. He takes it in. You can't see me. You can't see me. Dixon's offense went right back to work. J.J. Goulet, he's leading the state in rushing and also 20 touchdowns, make it 21. He'd had a couple more in this one, going back and forth. But the Railbirds said, Havelock, they're going to come back with that offense, and they would have themselves just enough to win this game. Jaden Howard, this tough run would set up the Howard touchdown. They added the 2-point conversion to take the 1-point lead, and that's how it finished with Havelock holding on 29-28.
Croatan also trying to keep pace. The Cougars looking to rebound from their first loss of the year. Traveled to Richlands. Wildcats had lost 5 in a row. Andrew Gurley in the huddle said, let's get up and pick up the pace here. Cannon McBride on the rollout, just looking for anybody. He fires, and who would catch it but number 1, Bo Boyd with a great catch. He got them set up inside the red zone, and Cannon, he's got a cannon for an arm, and he'd find Andrew Boucher, the water boy, for the scoring touchdown. He can run it, he can catch it. What can't he do? As Croatan looked good from start to finish. Get the win 38-7 over Richlands.
Let's go to the Three Rivers Conference, where West Craven and Southwest Edgecombe started the night tied for first place.
The Cougars had a short but tough road test against a resurgent North Pitt team.
Yeah, those Panthers on a 2-game win streak hosted those 4-2 Cougars, and this is a wild game at McNair Field in the Bethel area. Here comes North Pitt on the attack, and they've got a stable of running backs, including Jerron Clemens, and look at that big boy taking it in for the score. And that's when C.J. Wilson said, okay, that was good. Can we keep it going? Here comes Southwest Edgecombe on the kick return, and Nidarium Daniels. He's a Miriam Daniels, as that gets them down into good territory. And then Southwest Edgecombe going for the win on the field goal. It is blocked by the North Pitt defense, and that's how it ends. The Panthers hold on for the win, 28-27, knocking Southwest Edgecombe out of first place.
Ooh, 1-point win. West Craven back from their week off had their homecoming game against North Johnston. And how about the homecoming king and queen, one of the players in the third quarter? West Craven up 46-8. North Johnston driving as Malik Ferris Taichi dragging the pile, just continuing to move those legs. All that effort wasn't enough. West Craven on the move, though, the fans in the stands feeling good at Clay Jordan Stadium. Amari Sumner takes it outside for a first down and go all the way down the sideline. Oop, he stepped out of bounds. And then number 22 again, Amari Sumner. This time he was able to find the end zone. West Craven up 52-8, running clock. They get the win, 52-16.
One other Three Rivers Conference game. North Lenore made the trip to the original Washington. The Pan Pack looking for their first win. Brian Pascal hoping to finally get it. Big shout out to Jason Boyd from the Washington Daily News for the video assist on this one. And we saw Evan Makepeace make a touchdown, and that would be the story of the night. The Pan Pack does it. They finally get that first win thanks to the nice running of Anderson Thomas, and they get the victory 32-15. Washington off the schneid and celebrating in Choppy Wagner Stadium tonight.
Let's go to the East Central Conference homecoming at East Duplin. The Panthers hosted a Hyde Trask team who were fresh off a win over South Lenore. How about the punt here from Hyde Trask? Who would receive it but East Duplin's own number? Let's see, wait for it. Is that Sean Davis? No, it's not. It's somebody else. That's number 10, which is Dwayne Davis. He gets it all the way down inside the red zone, and then why not give it to number 3, Aaron Hall, who breaks away for the big-time touchdown run. All he saw was green grass ahead of him and the Beulahville faithful. East Duplin rolled with the win. Panthers victorious 38-6 over the Titans.
Undefeated Pender made the trip to the Corral to take on a Southwest Onslow team looking for its first win of the season. And the Stallions wearing the black and orange combo tonight, putting up a fight against those Patriots. But here comes Pender on that option offense and putting it into the end zone. Just like that, they had the lead. Southwest trying to come back, running that spread offense this year. Boy, struggled at times as Zyquan Murphy gets the sack, and then Pender is going to take it in for another score as they get the win thanks to Austin Deal. What's the deal? 50-14. Pender stays undefeated on the year.
And South Lenore made the trip to Clinton for an East Central Conference game as the Dark Horse statue, ooh, that looked good, over to the field as Clinton's number 9, Gavin Miller, finding his way and diving through the tackle in for the touchdown. Clinton goes up, and they were celebrating over on that sideline. South Lenore, though, running the ball. They looked good before halftime, but this would be a Clinton win. Brandon Proctor, he's got his guys a couple wins, but tonight it would be the Dark Horses getting the victory, 42-14.
Plenty more highlights to show you here on the Blitz, including undefeated Jacksonville hosting Rose. Those highlights are coming up in just a minute, and we'll get to our fans in the stands a little bit later in the show. Thank you for watching The Blitz. Undefeated Jacksonville had a big statement win, putting 67 points on New Bern last week.
That was on the road, too. The Cardinals back at home to take on J.H. Rose. The Rampants were the preseason pick to win the league title.
So, Rose going into this game with a 3-3 record. Hey, they dedicated the press box to the Colonel. There he is, John Kopka. Well-deserved honor, Colonel. He's been patrolling the sidelines for 30 years, telling me to get back and not get the Cardinals a penalty. Well, I didn't tonight because I wasn't there, but you know who was there? Jacksonville and their defense. Great interception that happened for Dylan Casebolt, but then here's Rose. They scored to cut it to 21-14, but who else but AP? Amari Pearson, 359 yards last week, not as many, but he's showing off that sprinter speed and scores again, and Jacksonville stays undefeated as they get the win at 35-21. And again, congratulations to John Kopka for that well-deserved honor tonight.
New Bern traveled to Jacksonville to take on White Oak. First meeting between the two schools since 2005, 20 years ago. New Bern's offense going at it, but who gets the interception? But White Oak. But right back to the offense, here comes New Bern's number one, Carvin Magwood. He's had that nickname. He's wore that number one all 4 years. He scores the touchdown. That was a mistake from Luke Schwartz a couple weeks ago, but we're not going to mention it. But how about this on the kickoff return? Just bouncing around. New Bern's defense swarming. 3 straight losses in a row. I guess the ball came out, so New Bern gets the ball back. Fumbled it. Terrence McCormick just going to sling it up and throw it. But guess what? Who's wide open for the catch? 24, which would be Kayshawn. Kayshawn Taylor.
Sorry, Mom. Kayshawn.
Finally getting it right his senior year. New Bern's defense swarmed. Lost 3 straight coming into the game, but they finally get the win. New Bern 46-20. Whew, getting the win, back in the win column.
You can put your glasses back on if you need to. Also, the Big Carolina, Big Pitt County rivalry game, D.H. Conley, South Central. And check out Mr. Butts rolling out for the Falcons, and he is going to find Jermichael Hyman for the touchdown. As South Central was down in this one, but trying to come back, the cheerleaders with their pink pom-poms tonight. But then here comes D.H. Conley, and they get it to Elijah Taft. And Taft takes it in, and Conley holds on and gets the win, 39-14. You know, they're undefeated in Big Carolina Conference play. Nate Connor and company having a good season.
Over in the Swine Valley Conference, it looks like rivals James Keenan and Wallace Rose Hill are headed to a Halloween night showdown for the league title.
Everyone will be squealing about that one, but both have to take care of business these next 3 weeks. So, yes, we're going to show you those highlights. Let's start with the Bulldogs. They had a tough road test at Midway in Spivey's Corner, home of the hollering contest. And who was doing the hollering tonight? Well, Wallace Rose Hill in a back-and-forth game, and they would get the long TD run by Jamari Lamb. He takes it in. Kevin Motsinger says that's great, but Midway keeps doing a lot of hollering because they kept coming back as well as their quarterback, Tanner Williams, the TD pass to Jacob Holland. And how about Midway? They hold serve at home, and they take down Wallace Rose Hill 42-35 as Galamai Blue with the TD pass as well as Midway takes Wallace from the ranks of the unbeaten in Swine Valley Conference play.
James Keenan took its 5-1 record to Goldsboro to take care of business against the winless Cougars 0-6. The Tigers were feeling good running out in the Cougar Stadium. And how about on the very first offensive play, James Keenan defense forces a fumble once and then twice, scoops it up. Some of the guys on the sideline wanted to say hi to their mom. Just give the football, though, to number 4 in C.J. Hill. He breaks off to the outside for the touchdown. Tigers led 7-0 as Tim Grady saying, all right, let's try this. Let's go up top, little head, you know, whatever it needs to be, and give it to Jeremiah Hall. He's in for the touchdown. Tigers get the win, a blowout out in Goldsboro, 48-6.
One of the Swine Valley Conference score, Princeton's turn to fatten up on the stat sheet. They beat Spring Creek 61-0. In the Carolina Conference North, Duplin back at Grubbs Field, ready to go, and they were taking on a West Columbus team that came in with a 1-5 record. And who else are going to give it to but Carell Phillips, number 21, in for the score. Columbus trying to come back, but Hugh Martin says that's not going to happen because North Duplin is going to get the win, 49-14. That defense trying to come through. Oh, just missed on that touchdown But the Rebels, they yell again and trying to win that Carolina Conference, get that home victory at Grubbs Field with some defense. Other Carolina Conference scores to tell you about. How about Lakewood in first place, beat Union 40-14, and East Bladen over East Columbus 44-6.
Let's go to the Coastal Plains Conference. Undefeated Northside made the trip to Bayboro to take on a Hurricanes team coming off its first win of the season. Northside on their first play from scrimmage. How about Sincere Columbus having a fantastic year all the way down the sideline for the touchdown. Panthers leading it. And over on the sideline, Pamlico just looking for any answers as they would punt on their next possession. Deontay Moore takes it off the bounce, and he was off to the races for the touchdown. Northside up 13-0, and they get the shutout win on the road, and Pamlico stay undefeated 49-0.
All right, East Carteret trying to set up next week's showdown with Northside. The Mariners went aboard Camp Lejeune, and check out the quick highlights as it was Luke McIntosh throwing the TD pass. And just like that, East Carteret rolls to the win over the Devil Pups, who were just happy to be back on the field, 49-12. East Carteret gets the win.
Next up for Lejeune is Jones Sr. The winless Trojans hosted Southside. The Seahawks in year one of the Coach Q era. Coach Andre Quinterly, 30 years an assistant coach, but first year as a head coach. And who did they give it to but number 14, which was for Southside?
44, Reggie Jackson number. We got to get you your glasses back.
44, Kamani Brimage. Jones Sr. trying to find something with a nice 11 for the touchdown, I think. There you go. But Southside getting the win on the road, 32-6.
Plenty more highlights to show you, including our Battle Royale you can't miss. But first, our fans in the stands. Thanks to everybody, Coastal Carolina Community College, who is out in the elements tonight, and West Craven's King and Queen. And we got to go. All right, thank you for watching the Blitz. Time for our Battle Royale. Kinston and Green Central, neighbors separated by 16 miles.
Their football rivalry was a bit of a late bloomer, historically speaking. The first time they ever played was 2005.
But man, they've made up for it. They've faced each other ever since, including a couple of times in the playoffs, and they had an all-timer Friday night in Snow Hill.
Both teams with 4-2 records going into tonight's Eastern Plains Conference game in Snow Hill. It was Kinston up 13-12. They trailed 12-0 at halftime, but then DeJuan Cobb put the Rams back up. Perry Tyndall saying, yeah, I like that for Kinston, as a big throw and catch to Tyreek Copper, and he had a little eye black underneath his eyes that said real deal. He was saying, I am the real deal. Tyler Jones, his quarterback, would punch it in to put Kinston back up on top, 20-19. We would head to the fourth quarter, and Jay Wilson said, one more quarter to go. Let's go win this game. Give it to Cobb once again, breaking outside. He decides to get away from a tackle, jumping and leaping in, wearing the pink. For October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Jay Wilson bobbing his head going, yeah, not only do I like the beat from the band, but I like leading. But then once again, Jones over the middle to Tyreek Copper, and Kinston takes the lead with 58 seconds to go, 25-20. Coach Gieselman saying, come on, flip it, and let's go kick it way deep over Green Central's head. Trey Bynum had to run all the way back to about the 30-yard line, shifts field, and he's going to go all the way down the sideline. No one is going to catch him down the sideline. He even stared down.
Did he just talk trash?
He did. You know who we talked trash to? Terrence Copper, Tyreek's dad, on the sideline, who was going, oh, brother, but he knows what his son can do with 48 seconds to go in the game. Give it right back to Tyreek Copper on the screen pass, moving, juking, duking, slips a tackle. He's got one man to beat, and he's into the end zone for the score. Kinston takes a 32-31 lead. He was celebrating with all the fans. Green Central would have one more shot, drove down the field with 4 seconds left. The kick, the hold is a little bit muffed, and it's wide left. So Kinston, down 12 at halftime, comes back to get the win. Yeah, that's an appropriate shoulder bump for Gieselman and Tyreek Copper with the win.
Just playing like me.
Soft, boy. They called you soft.
Just playing like me. Just playing like me. Real deal. I've been working for this, and it's paying off, as you can see. Real deal, for real.
He certainly was the real deal tonight. 2 go-ahead touchdowns in the final 58 seconds of the game. Kinston getting the win. And up net, they're at Farmville Central, and then Aiden Grifton at Green Central.
Speaking of Farmville Central, first place battle in the Eastern Plains Conference. Farmville made the trip north on 258 to Tarboro. Take on the undefeated Vikings. First meeting since 2012. And here comes Farmville trying to run the ball, but man, that Tarboro defense may be underrated. Jeff Craddock says, I've been trying to tell you. Talk about my defense. Okay, just kidding, coach. And then here comes BJ again, trying to get something, but man, big hit by that Tarboro defender. And Tarboro, they have no problems. They lay down the smackets on Farmville Central, 55 to 14.
Elsewhere in the Eastern Plains Conference, Aiden Grifton hosted Beddingfield. It was homecoming in Littlefield as E.J. Ruffin finds a little bit of space with the cutback, and boy is he a speedster. Number 3 with the touchdown. Aiden Grifton leading over the Bruins. Garrett Wingate in year 1 leading the Chargers, doing a great job. They beat Kinston last week, trying to keep the winning going. Ball is out, and Aiden Grifton recovers, hopping, jumping around, and a little bit of a celebration as Aiden Grifton gets the shutout. 42-0 for the win.
Now let's go to the Blitz Extra. Highlights not seen on the Friday Night Blitz because of time constraints.
But we have all the time in the YouTube world to show you some of the other big games around Eastern North Carolina.
How about Beargrass Charter, undefeated, 5-0 for the first time in school history. Travel to Hobgood Charter, first place battle in the Atlantic Conference. And check out Eric Carmen for Beargrass. Carmen. Is that Carmen from, what is that? South Park, yeah. Best I could do. Kobe Beck says, here's the best I can do. I can find Vance Keel as Beargrass rolls 47-7. They're now 6-0, and they are scheduled to visit Mattamuskeet next week, but Beargrass keeps on rolling. Rawr.
Washington County took its 3-game win streak on the road. The Panthers had a non-conference game at Wayne Christian, trailed 7-0 until Kamani Jones over the middle found Brandon Sproul for the touchdown. As the fans were all bundled up, it was a little bit chilly in Goldsboro, but Wayne Christian would respond, just handed off to Jamari Hill, breaking a few tackles, and he was off to the races. He even put his finger up to say that is for 6 points. Went up 14-6, but Ben James saying, look, we're still in this game. Let's make this 4 straight wins. How about the throw from Kamani and the catch by Kytrell Sutton? Ooh. Draped all over by the defender. He's able to haul it in, and then on 4th and goal, give it right back to number 10, Sutton, with the touchdown, tied 14 at halftime, but Ben James and his Panthers come back to get the win, 26-21. 4 straight wins. We're not certain, but this could be a record 4 straight in a row for once Washington County consolidated out with Plymouth.
Yeah, when Plymouth and the Creswell consolidated, Washington County took over. We think that's the best they've had. All right, John Paul II back on their home turf for senior night, hosting winless Southern Wake Academy, and get an idea why. Wake Academy can't handle it. JP2 recovers. The student sanctioning golf class. Yay. JP2 then goes around the edge and in. Tyler McGinn, number 7, scoring 7. And JP2 rolls in this one, 34-7, getting closer and closer to that showdown Halloween night with Parrott Academy. Parrott Academy was off this Friday.
And in the Northeastern Conference, Northeastern, coming off a rare loss, hosted 1-5 first flight at Conover Field thanks to Christian Bateman at Carolina Grind for the highlights. Zakishman pop pass to Jaquel Stallings, then backup quarterback Owen Collins in for the score. Uzziah Harney with a long, and I mean long, touchdown run here. He's reversing all the way on the other side of the field. And after that rare loss for Northeastern, how about the big-time win for the Eagles in the throw and catch to Devon Shreves? 47-6, 5-2, 1-1 in Northeastern Coastal Conference.
Check out some other Northeastern Coastal Conference scores. With Martin County now 2-0 in their new league, taking on and beating Pasquotank in Elizabeth City, 14-0. John Wheeler has his guys rolling. They're now 5-2. Currituck also in first place. They beat Hertford 37-14. Liberty Christian, that's 5 in a row for the Heat. So the Heat are hot. You can see it every day. You can be a sportscaster too with such wordplay like that. Other scores, we are looking at the Albemarle Conference. Bertie puts up 22, most points they've scored this year, but not enough. Camden beats them by 13. Eaves and Holmes, what up Holmes? They come up big against Gates County, grounding the Red Barons 49-30. And Manteo with a big win over Perquimans, 27-6. Some other scores, including out of the Big East Conference, it was Rocky Mount putting it on CB Aycock, Hunt putting it on Southern Nash. That's An interesting score, and it was Northern Nash over Southern Wayne 51-7, but Hunt with a statement win over the Firebirds. So now we have time to assess. What an interesting night. Northside Jacksonville, who's had some real struggles through the years.
Yeah.
A nice, tough road win where they faced adversity. They get the win, all alone in first place. Look, they still have some tough games on their schedule, most notably Havelock, who had a big win over Dixon tonight to stay alive in the conference. But for Kendrick Pollock, and again, all that they've been through for the last 4 or 5 years, that was a big win for them. I thought there was a chance they could get upset by West Carteret, but they answered the bell.
0-10 2 years ago, 2-8 last year, but now being 6-1, and you're heavy into your conference play, and you're still undefeated with that first place. I mean, he's just got some young guys, and the last time we spoke, I think he only has 3 seniors on both sides of the ball. So Reginald Gray being a sophomore, Gavin Davis is one of those older guys, but man, he is heart over height, and he can really just take that football and go with it. And even Smoot, he was a guy that was only playing defense, and he said he switched him to offense just 2 weeks ago, and he's been making plays, interceptions, and the Monarchs just look like one of the teams to beat right now.
So we'll see how they do. I keep going back to last year. I remember that game. They had that extra week game where they decided to play against Martin County, and they had the big win. I felt like that was a springboard for them, and it's really paying off this year. Well, Havelock, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Kendrick Pollock said that he wanted that game to be for the next up guys. He said, seniors, you get the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth, I want it to be the young guys who are playing. This is not a game for the end of this season. This is our first game of next season. And so I think that kind of triggered a response from his guys to go, look, we're not playing for right now. We're playing for the future, and it's certainly paying off.
Havelock bringing up their younger players, starting to pay off now. They're gaining momentum here. They still have some tough games, too. That whole Coastal Conference is interesting with the different types of teams playing. Jacksonville looks great. They take care of business against a preseason pick to win, J.H. Rose. Rose made it a little bit of a game, but Bo Williams has his guys playing at a high level.
Bo Williams and that team, I mean, Amari Pearson, I may not have been here last week. Brian's given me a lot of shade for that, but I did see the highlights, and boy, did he run all over New Bern and continued to run tonight in J.H. Rose. But speaking of New Bern, huge bounce-back win for Terrence Saxby and company for 3 straight losses, now improved to 4-3 on the year. And when you schedule tough teams like Cleveland, Huff, and then you have to host a really good Jacksonville team, that can certainly kick your morale, but huge win for them tonight.
3 straight losses and a bye week, so it had been a while since they tasted victory, so they feel pretty good about that. Kinston with that big win. Tarboro still looking great again in their conference. I thought maybe Tarboro and Kinston would battle for that championship at the end of the year. Kinston's had a little bit of the struggle bus along the way, and look, they bounced back tonight, but they haven't dominated like I thought they would going into this season with everybody they had back from last year.
Well, you have Tyreek Copper, who of course was the hero tonight with 2 touchdowns in just the final minute of the game. But Tyler Jones can really sling it. Brennan Chambers is a Shrine Bowl nominee, and he's also a D1 commit to Marshall. And you're surprised week in and week out. The loss to South Central, the loss to Aiden Grifton, and obviously 2 really good teams that certainly got the win. But you're thinking this Kinston team's going to be a high-powered offense. Even Genesis Wiggins in the backfield, really good running back, transfer from North Lenoir. So huge win. And one thing Tyreek Copper said after the game was like, this keeps us in the playoffs. This keeps our spirits high, and real deal for Kinston.
Not how you start, how you finish, and we'll see if Kinston gets some momentum going off of this one. Aiden Grifton looks good. They picked a big homecoming win, and so they're tied for first place in their conference. So Washington, hey, congratulations to Brian Pascal and his staff. They've worked hard to try and get Washington back to respectability. Well, they got 1 win tonight. We'll see if that kickstart them for the rest of the season. So that was nice. And Beargrass, a great job by Terry Perry and company, 6-0 for the first time in school history.
Vance Keel looks phenomenal. I mean, he's just a kid who can do it all. I feel like every time we're saying Keel, Peel, Banana, just everything because he's running around. But you mentioned the Pam Pack for Washington. How about Washington County, too? I mean, that's a team that struggled last year and only got, I believe, 1 or 2 wins on the season. So now being 5-2 on the year, they're going to play another North Edgecombe team. They have a good Wilson Prep team that's going to be tough. And they got one more team.
North Edgecombe is in there, is that what you
North
said?
Edgecombe. They already beat them 53-0.
And play them again, though. That was a non-conference game. They'll play them in a league game coming up. Next week, Northside undefeated out of Beaufort County, East Carteret. That'll be for the Coastal Plains Conference Championship. That'll be one of the big games.
Anchor Bowl, right?
We'll be keeping an eye on, no.
Southside.
Southside and
Northside.
Northside,
That's
last
right.
game of the year. But this one, I think, next week will be for the title. So that'll be a fun one as well. And so I'm looking at the helmets. Tarborough's great.
Liberty Christian.
Croatan had a big bounce back. And how about Liberty Christian? Look, Coach thought they could win 5 games. Now they've won 5 in a row this year in their second year as an 8-man program. So we'll see what they have here going down the stretch of the season. Well, we have unlimited time here on YouTube, but that doesn't mean I guess we should take all the time in the world.
But let's teach one more thing to Brian. He said the golf clap is the TikTok clap, which is like this. So it's kind of silent, but it's a social media trend. We're keeping Brian young by showing him things that
Brian's
keep
here to
him
stop these idiotic social media trends. It's the dumbest thing I've heard tonight.
6-7. Thank you, Shane.
4-1. We're out of here. Lord help us.